Good morning, namaste, and a very warm welcome to you all. This is Gaurav Sharma, and today we are going to talk about the subject communication for development. And we are going to discuss several contents of this topic. And to start this, let's move on to our PPT. Okay, so here are the list of content that we are going to discuss in this video. The first one is the definition about development communication that are provided by the famous personalities in this field. The second one is the origin of development communication in India and outside India. And the third one is communication for development, the various inputs for the development process. And the last one is the features of development communication. Well, in this we are going to discuss the several features or characteristics of development communication. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to our first slide about the various definitions given by various scholars. Okay, the first definition is given by Thomas L. McPhail. Development communication is the process of intervening in a systemic or strategic manner with either media, print, radio, telephonic, video, and the internet, or education like training, literacy, schooling for the purpose of positive social change. The change could be economic, personal, as in spiritual, social, and cultural or political. Well, the second definition is given by Erskine Childers. He said, development support communications is a discipline in development planning and implementation in which more adequate account is taken of human behavioral factors in the design of development projects and their objectives. The third definition is given by Nora Kubil. She is one of the very famous personalities in the field of communication for development. According to Nora Kubil, development communication is the art and science of human communication applied to the speedy transformation of a country and mass of its people from poverty to a dynamic state of economic growth that makes possible greater social equality and the larger fulfillment of human potential. Well, this was quoted in Development Communication, Rhetoric and Reality by Pete Haberman and Guy de Fontegalen. Well, the next definition is provided by the UNICEF, and that is about development communication, that it is a two-way process for sharing ideas and knowledge using a range of communication tools and approaches that empower individuals and communities to take actions to improve their lives. So by the help of it, we can understand that the phenomenon of information dissemination is called development communication. As it is comprehended generally, development communication is not only about agricultural communication, but also about population, nutrition, health, sanitation, safety, economic stability, housing, education, employment, environment, women empowerment, and so on. So this is the development communication is talk about agriculture development only, but it includes various sectors of the society also. Okay, with this, let's move on to our next slide, and that is origin of development communication. Okay, in this we are going to talk about the origin of development communication in India and in the world. Okay, development communication started taking shape in the later half of 20th century as a distinct branch of communication. Developed countries started taking interest in the progress of developing and underdeveloped countries after the end of Cold War. In India, development communication began with rural radio broadcasts after 1940. Radio played a major role in reaching masses because the literacy was low. Radio broadcasting was done in different languages to reach the larger audiences. Community radio worked as a boon for rural India. Various NGOs and educational institutes created stations to spread or broadcast necessary advisories and messages on development. Well, it is evident that mass communication has played a vital role in expediting the process of communication. The content of mass communication makes people aware about their own environment. A large percentage of people are illiterate in a country like India, especially the village area where education is lacking. Hence, they do not understand the importance of education, and many issues come under light only after getting educated. For example, people are aware that they are getting unclean drinking water for their use, and they know that it is going to harm their health in some way, but they do not know about the diseases unclean drinking water may cause. Consequently, they are not aware about the prevention and cure of those several diseases. Uh, and this type of awareness comes out automatically by the help of proper education. With this, let's move on to our next slide. Okay, that is communication for development. The discipline of communication offers the development process a number of inputs, a way to survey a new environment, especially by establishing consultative vehicles, a way of raising consciousness and awareness amongst communities of issues pertaining to a better life for all, something to aspire to, a way of promoting feedback. A dynamic two-way process can be set up between people and developers, a way to teach new skills selling, a national dream, and a vehicle for programs directed at nation building. With this, let's move on to our next slide: features of development communication. Well, there are several features of development communication. We are going to discuss all these features one by one. So let's start with the first one. It is that development communication, it is responsive. It does not provide useless information. Useless means which is not important for the people, that people don't want it to know, but which central planners deemed as crucial. People understand their own needs better, and through this approach, communication becomes a tool in the planning and development process, not a mechanism but to persuade communities once unpalatable decisions have been made in their better interest. Okay, the next is it hinges on feedback. So the feedback is the most important part to for a proper communication. So you can say that feedback is the backbone of it. If you have a proper feedback, then you can easily get what you wanted to achieve. In case if you are, if you get failure in your results, then you can also go through that what happened there and what was the reason behind it by the help of proper feedback from the people, then why they have rejected your product or whatever the reason is. So it is same like in development communication, that it is not a one-way process but involves dialogue mechanism about the information which was transferred. It is also fundamentally about consultative processes being managed at community level. Okay, the next is innovation and creativity. So the message must not be dull and boring, but show clearly how the information transmitted will make a difference in the life of the recipient. It must not instill a doubt or disbelief, but trust and confidence. Look for local doctors. Development communication workers should, however, balance creativity with an understanding of what communities would be prepared to accept and where consideration has been given to the norms and prevailing values of that community. Okay, the next one is independent validation. It is not about the government speak. This approach builds a participatory mechanism and functional networks involving NGOs or traditional leadership structure while also encouraging links with networks from across the country and needed all over the world. These can either prove or disapprove the validity of the information transmitted. The next is sustainability and continuity. It is not about dumping information in a community and never going back for months. It is not like that. It should be continued. The next is it's about establishing common ground with the communities who are to be with the recipients of the information or message. It is not about the public servant who swoops in and out of the community in his or her duty like a phantom expert to educate and uplift communities. The standards, norms, values, habits of the community are paramount. This may mean that those accustomed to a licensed style hinging on comfortable hotels with prepared meals and warm fluffy towels will need to make some adjustment to their style also. Well, it's about community participation. So the participation is the most important part of a development communication. More the people will participate in it, more it will get to be good for the nation. Well, development programs which plan for communities or supply information which planets feel communities need fail to be relevant initiatives and more often than not fail to be sustainable. A primary emphasis of this approach is to plan with the communities, create structures which offer communities and developers equal power, and the use of communities and use communication methods which are fundamentally participatory in nature. This often requires that the government planners, developers, or community workers have to listen to the advice of communities and change the views they themselves hold. Okay, so the next point here is it's about access and visibility of government. Where government is no longer a distant and unknown entity in community development experiences, this approach reverses the practice of communities having to travel long distances and at a relatively great cost to access government services and information. This is made worse when government is not clearly and properly identifiable, and access is difficult because of inaccessible buildings, unfriendly and unprofessional staff, etc. The development communication approach brings government employees face to face with communities for promoting accountability at local level. This is not possible when civil servants are remote and impersonal. Well, the last point here is that it's about the use of simple and relevant language, where concepts are practiced in the experience of communities in their own language, and where communities themselves have played a major role in the development of material for development communication program. Because we will look at for the communication, the first medium was used as radio. Radio was used as first medium. So at that time, for the local areas, when a NGO or where a station is set up, then they use local language to convey the message or information to a large amount of people of the local area, and that the message is to be delivered in that local language, so they all can understand what the government is trying to convey them, and that helps them a lot by understanding the root of that message. Okay, so with this, let's move on to our next slide, and that is thank you. Thank you for being with me in this video also. I hope you like this video and the information that has been spread by the help of this video. And have a good day ahead. Take care of your family. Stay safe, stay home, and bye bye.